Mounce, BBG, chapter 14, sentence 4. All right, first thing to notice is you got that post-positive day, so you're going to jump that to the front of the sentence. And then hopefully you recognize that as coming from charis, which is one of your third declension nouns. And so then when you go to chari-t, that tells you that that's your stem. And then that iota ought to tell you that you're working from the dative. So you're going to, to, in, or with, or in my case, I would want to say something like by, and then translate day as and by the grace of God, right? So you see the genitive there. You could say by God's grace, or and by the grace of God. Either one of those is going to be fine. I don't have a problem either way. And then you have this, Amy is I am. So you've got it twice with a relative pronoun in between. So, I am who I am, or I am what I am. Easy enough to translate, but then when you look at the relative pronoun and you say, okay, that is neuter. So what is the neuter relative pronoun doing in there? What is it referring back to? And, what's it doing within the relative clause? Because the relative clause is what I am. That's a little bit the more problematic piece of this equation. Like I said, easy enough to translate, but you still have to kind of figure out, well, what on earth is going on with this relative pronoun and relative clause? So anyway, translation, and by the grace of God, I am what I am. Easy enough. But then you say, well, okay, I got a relative pronoun, case, number, gender. Case, we look right. Number, gender, we look left for the antecedent. Well, if you have a neuter singular, right, and either nominative or accusative, we're going to figure out in a minute, but we got a neuter singular, then you go look for an antecedent, which is neuter singular. Guess what? There isn't one. So that's where you kind of go, okay, what do I do if there's no antecedent? Well, you have this thing with I am, and then if it's neuter, well, treat a me as those transitive. I am something. You kind of almost have to put that in there. It's by God's grace, I'm something. And that's really all you can do, because it's not there. There is no antecedent. And that's the idea you have to come away with is like I am something. So you're kind of playing with an antecedent that doesn't exist. However, doing that helps you see that besides the fact that second me already has a subject built in, you're probably going to take that ho as an accusative in terms of the case, and treat it as though it's the direct object within the relative. It's replacing the direct object within the relative clause. But then you can do the same thing. You can say I am something, which tells you that it would replace the direct object. It's easy fix that way. But again, you still need to recognize it's case, number, gender, singular, gender, neuter, and in terms of case, easiest thing is to go with it as an accusative, and then again, you're just putting that something in there, because right here you really don't have an antecedent, so you're sort of inserting it into the mind of the sentence. Hope that helps. But and by the grace of God, I am what I am would be your translation, and hopefully that makes sense to everybody. But by the grace of God, I am. In English, you're still looking for something to fill out that sentence, and again, that's where I would say you insert that direct object that's not there. I am something. By the grace of God, I'm something. So hopefully that helps.